Hey folks, I'm Sam Faddis, and this is Ground Truth, where we try to get past the spin and the hype and the nonsense that passes for news and talk about reality. Today we're talking about border security and a border patrol that has been turned into Uber for migrants. Back over the summer, when heat was at its peak down in Texas, Border Patrol agents in that area got a 911 call. It was a 911 call from a group of migrants who'd been abandoned by their coyotes, the guides they pay to take them across the border. Were stuck in the desert, didn't have any water, didn't have any food, and were now calling 911 so that the Border Patrol that's responsible for catching them and stopping them from crossing the border would come out and rescue them. So the Border Patrol did in fact do that. There were a grand total of 57 individuals in the group, and 36 of them were minors. One of them was a teenage girl who was pregnant. One of them was a baby. They picked up these 57 people, gave them water, gave them food, brought them to shelter. It may seem strange that you have a border patrol that's supposed to be stopping people from crossing the border that's now been turned into a 911 rescue service. But in fact, Border Patrol agents end up having to do this all the time. It's happened again within recent weeks that a group of migrants stuck out in the desert, not knowing which way to go, called the Border Patrol on a cell phone on 911 and then sat down and waited to be rescued. In fact, the Border Patrol has erected hundreds of what are called rescue beacons along the border. These are solar-powered towers. On them they have placards in a multitude of languages, including at least English, Spanish, and Chinese, telling you that all you have to do is press a red button and sit down and wait, and the Border Patrol will come pick you up. And migrants do that all the time. Now that may seem strange that we have a Border Patrol that's busy doing this kind of thing, but when you think about what happens after the migrants get picked up, it gets even more bizarre. Because in most cases, since most of these people are not Mexicans, they're what's called other than Mexicans, Central Americans, Hondurans, Guatemalans, Salvadorians. In most cases, they can't be simply pushed back across the border when they're detained because the Mexicans won't take them. So the Border Patrol picks up these folks after they've called 911, takes them in, gives them a hot shower, gives them food, and then cuts them loose. They give them a piece of paper that says, on your own recognizance, you're allowed to go forth in the United States and you are required to show up, again on your own recognizance, later for a hearing that will ultimately be scheduled one day to decide whether you can stay in the United States. It will not surprise you, I suspect, that something in excess of 85% of the people that are cut loose with these pieces of paper don't ever show up for a hearing. In fact, the migrants call this piece of paper, which is technically a notice to appear for a hearing, their permit to enter the United States, because that's in fact what it is. Donald Trump's been talking a lot about a border wall for some time. We're in the midst of a government shutdown over the issue. God knows we need a border wall. But I think what I've just laid out illustrates we need a lot more than that. We need sanity restored to a border security policy that has become a farce, where our Border Patrol agents are now working as Uber, Lyft, or taxi service for migrants stuck in the desert. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Ground Truth.